Nice picture.
Good afternoon, podcast world, and those on Facebook Live. Time for another episode of Things My Mother Never Told Me. Can you say hey?
Hey, how's everybody out there in our Facebook audience? And thank you for joining in and listening to us today.
Yeah, we got another special guest on here today.
Yes, we do.
Carolyn, what we're going to do is, as we told you earlier, we're going to read your bio, and then she's going to read it, and then we're going to jump in and ask you some questions.
All right.
Now, you want me to let you in? The
Yeah,
computer?
you can let me. I'm here.
Let's see what happens.
Okay.
Okay, Tina, go ahead. Read the bio.
All right. Please help me welcome Carolyn Marie Phillips. She's LMSW CFSW. She's a lifelong Detroiter. She is the president and training coordinator of Independent Networking Associates, Inc. It's a consulting and training firm established in 1986. Carolyn retired from Detroit Public Schools, where she had been employed for 25 years. She has a Master of Social Work degree with concentration in group work, administration, and community organizations. She has a bachelor's from Wayne State, a Master Social Worker Clinical and Macro license in the state of Michigan, Certified School Social Worker. She is from the Michigan Department of Education. She's a certified financial social worker.
That's your computer.
Okay.
She has over
Go ahead.
All right. She has over 40 years of extensive and diverse experience in this career. She has created multi-Facebook social media groups to keep her colleagues and the public connected and informed. She's a hardworking woman. Carolyn is the proud parent of Lamar Jr. Sunset in 1994 and Lamar A. Phillips. Please welcome this trailblazer, Carolyn Marie Phillips.
Hey, Carolyn, she disappeared.
Uh-oh, here she comes.
Yeah, she's coming back. She's having a little technical difficulty. She'll be right on here with us as soon as her computer acts right. There she is. You on mute. There you go. Hey, welcome back. So how you doing?
I'm doing well, and I want to thank you for inviting me to be on your wonderful program.
Yep. Turn your phone, if your phone is still on, mute it.
Okay, I'll cut it off.
Yeah.
My phone, I thought I got out of there. Is it off now? Are we okay?
We still getting a little back feed.
Okay.
It should be off because I don't see another person on.
Okay.
All right, we should be good. So let's jump on into here. First of all, thank you for coming on the show. And let's jump into some of what you've been doing. I'm gonna ask you one question that's not in here. What high school did you go to?
Mumford High School.
Mumford High School. Okay.
I don't know why I left that out. I guess on purpose.
well, we got a few Mumfordites to listen in. So
that's good.
Yeah, so you're fine. So I want to jump right in here because you went to Wayne State, you got some degrees, and you got a whole lot of stuff in his background. His bio is like quite extensive. But what I want to talk about real quick, well, let me do this one thing. For those who don't know, Lamar, her son, he was on, what was it, about a year ago?
Yeah.
That he was a guest on?
Yes.
Yeah. He's the band director at King, and he's got a whole lot of other stuff going on too. So I just want to give him a shout out. Right now it says you're the president and training coordinator of Independent Networking Associates. Let's talk about that.
Well, Independent Networking Services, it was Services, and then we changed the name. We started in 1986, and it really came out of me. I was working at Diversified Youth Service from 1980 to 1985, and I left there and went to Detroit Public Schools. However, our director at that time, Rolando Shorey, asked me would I come back and work in the summer. And in this program, we had what we call multiple problem youth. And we were really challenged with Black males, and they were just having real difficulty. And we had a colleague, Jawanza Kanjufu, who wrote a book on countering the conspiracy to destroy Black boys. And my colleagues, Herschel Harris and Shepard Sanders and I all worked together. And we said, we got to do something about this.
Mhm.
So with my consultant money, that's what they paid me with, I started my business.
Okay.
I took the money and we got in touch with Jawanza and asked him, could he come to Detroit? Because we wanted to have an all-male conference, all men.
Okay.
I was doing the receptionist work. My friend Barbara Cornelius and my sister Betty Walker, we did not go in the room with the men. We
Okay.
felt like they needed to do this. Well, Jawanza had a lot of books and I became one of his vendors and I started selling the books. And that's how we got a percentage off. And that's how we made money to get our business going.
Okay.
And we've been going ever since. And Barbara, who's no longer with us, she made a transition. Betty, Barbara, and Aisha, they were the persons that were selling the books. Along the journey, Jawanza and Falami Prescott put together what we call SECLAY, self-esteem through culture leads to academic excellence. And I went to Chicago in 1990, I believe, and was trained. It was a lot of people from all over the country.
Mhm.
And I said, well, I'm gonna take this back to Detroit. And we introduced it to the Detroit Public Schools. And at that time, it was Dr. Ingrid Draper, who was over special ed, said, we need this. So I was the coordinator for the district with SECLAY. And we put it in many of the schools. At that time, we were having African Center education in the 90s.
Mhm.
And I have some wonderful educator friends, and they wanted it in their schools. So in the summer, they had money left over and they purchased the program and we trained them in the summer in our business.
Okay.
And we had an office out at that time in Southfield.
Mhm. Okay. You know that was a minute ago because you said the schools had money left over. And that's
Well, they have summer money, you know,
Yeah,
for
right.
workshops and they couldn't spend a lot of money. So, you know, we never was rich. We
Right.
just been doing the work.
That's right. That's right. So
Say that, Ms. Carolyn.
let me bounce around a bit because the public schools you were an employee for 25 years there, right?
Well, you know what? I started out my career in social work. My internship was, guess where? Mumford High School. It was the way God worked it out. I was a student in 1973, and my field instructor was Maxine Walton, and they were in regions then.
Mhm.
And my schools were McCullough and Post and Mumford High School.
Okay.
And the next year, my field placement was with Homes for Black Children. And I said, when I was in the school setting, I'll never want to be a social worker in the schools.
Right.
Okay. However, I had a certificate in social work.
Mhm.
And I worked about 10 years outside of the district. And then I came to Detroit Public Schools in 1985. All my friends went to Detroit Public Schools, and over at Diversified, we were serving the Detroit Public Schools anyway through our emotional impairment program. We were the persons who certified the kids and everything. And so I still had my connection with the Detroit Public Schools. Okay. So the director came over one year. I never will forget, it was 1984. And she said, Carolyn, we want you to come to the district. And my brother, John, he was murdered. Oh. And I said, no, I can't do it. I just can't go right now. And in that March of 1985, come, Carolyn, come. I said, no, if I come now, I won't have a job in the summer. So I stayed. So I got another call that August and they said, will you come? And the reason why I went, Lamar was just going to Cass Tech. Mm-hmm. And I said, I need to be able to get off from work at 3 o'clock like him.
Right.
And so I went.
Okay.
Well, and I didn't look back.
Right. Well, look like you wasn't gonna have a choice anyway, right?
Well, I had a choice, but I knew that that was the best thing that could happen. Where I worked at Diversified at the time, I was living around the corner. So
Oh,
I
okay.
worked like from 12 to 8. And then on Fridays, of course, we would get off early. But Lamar's father was a latchkey parent. We weren't married, we were divorced,
Mhm.
but he was always a part of Lamar and Larry's life. So I never had to worry about a babysitter. And my family I call them my family on Roseline, that's where I live.
Mhm.
Everybody took care of everybody's kids. So I
Right.
never
Right.
had to worry about a babysitter with my kids.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Talk about good times.
Yes.
Right. So was social work always a dream of yours, or you just
No, no,
you said that quick?
never. I said it quick because I I went into social work through services. However, my dream was to be a social studies teacher.
Ah.
When I was at Mumford High, I had a teacher, Mr. Weaver, and every summer, you didn't have nothing to do. You didn't have a job. You went to summer school. So Mr. Weaver was my social studies teacher, and he made it come alive. And I was in high school. I was in the Future Teachers Club,
Okay.
and as a young woman, in elementary school, I had really good teachers. So I always wanted to be a teacher. Well, when I was in school, working on my degree, I was going through some personal challenges, marital challenges,
Mm.
which led me to have to get assistance.
Okay.
And when I got the assistance, I'm like, these people don't treat people right, but I still want to think about being a social worker. So I wanted to hurry up and get out of school. I said, I need to get out of school.
Mhm.
And instead of me going over to the College of Ed, I took some classes in social work. And my professor, Phillips Vroom, she said, Carolyn, you make a good social worker. I still didn't want to be a social worker. She said, but you make a good social worker. She said, go and apply. Well, I was going to have a bachelor's, and you can't get a job with a bachelor's. And so my thought was maybe I'll go to law school. And my neighbor across, his brother was in law school, and he said, oh, it's a lot of writing and all this. I said, well, I ain't got time. I got these 2 kids. I ain't got time for that.
Right. Right.
So I applied to the School of Social Work. I never thought I was going to get in, and I got in.
Okay.
And I never looked back. Bill Iverson was the admissions director who became my partner. He just passed last year. He was 100 years old.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So we became partners, and that's how we developed Independent Networking Associates, which is a for-profit business.
Okay.
The Independent Networking Service was a nonprofit.
Okay.
And so I'm thankful that I'm a social worker. And then I ended up being in the Detroit Public Schools, having the opportunity to, I call it the staff say, you always trying to teach us something. So I was a teacher.
That's
So
right.
my dream came true.
Okay, good. So segueing, you a lead consultant of the International Enlightenment Foundation.
That's
So-
Lamar's business. Yeah,
That's whose?
that's Lamar's
No, that's
business.
Lamar's business. Right. Because I know when he was
Yeah.
on, he talked about it. So
Yeah.
what do you do with him there?
Advise him. Your show called What Your Mother Never Told You.
Uh-huh.
Well, Lamar, I'll just say a little bit about my son. Both my sons were in the arts. Lawrence, who's deceased, I call him my angel, my heavenly angel,
Mhm.
and Lamar is my earth angel.
Okay.
And both of them are gifted in the arts. And their father is very gifted. He can sing and did
Right.
instruments. I'm not. I can't sing. I don't do any of that. But I know how to reach out to people. And Lamar started with the International Enlightenment Foundation when he was in Atlanta. Then he moved here. And because he has been with me since I started the business at age 15, it became just a natural process for us to have a foundation to give back to the youth. So that's
Okay.
his business.
Right.
And wherever I have connections, I just send them to the people that I know and say, I don't know this. take care of my son.
Okay. Well, there you go. Everybody needs somebody like that in their life.
Well, I've got really some fantastic friends and colleagues that are lifelong. I mean, we're family everywhere we go as social workers. We're family. I mean, I'm a member of the National Association of Black Social Workers, and that's my family nationwide. We have a local chapter, state chapter. I'm not as active as I used to be, but I pay my dues, and when they ask me to do something, I will do it.
Okay.
And I've had support through the transition of my parents, my sons. They always we're there for each other. So
Okay.
social workers are always there. And I guess I will always be a social worker until I leave the planet.
Yeah, I have a cousin and she's about 36 now. She's a social worker.
Yes.
Yeah.
So is my cousin. Retired. Vivian.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she retired.
right.
I don't know if you know, I don't know, Vivian Whitlow. She was a West Smith when she was married, but she's a retired social worker too.
Okay.
Yeah, but right, and a few at the church. So so real briefly, I know you gave a brief outline of the Black social workers, but how well, you gave a brief synopsis of it, but tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, the National Association of Black Social Workers started in 1968. And there were people that was at the NASW conference, and we had to walk away. And they formed the National Association of Black Social Workers. And we have some founding members right here from Detroit. And in the Detroit chapter, some of the guys were in a fraternity and they began to meet and they start to formulate for Detroit. So Detroit is one of the oldest chapters in the association.
Okay.
We have national conferences every year in April, but with the pandemic, things have changed and things have been virtual. And our current national president is Melissa Smith, and she lives in New Orleans.
Okay.
But we've had local presidents. Shay Mbaki was our last president from Detroit. Gerald Smith was our president. And we just love them. And then we have people that are been national reps or either served in leadership positions. If you know Paul Hubbard was one of our leaders, and Alice Thompson, a leader. And we just family, and it is what it is. And so our current president is Robert Williams, and he's been with the chapter, and he has his own, clinical practice, but we all stick together and do what we need to do.
Okay. Right. Sounds good. And so, I'm gonna ask this crazy question right now, because it's crazy.
It's okay.
Where'd you find time to have a personal life?
I know.
I do. You know what?
I know.
I know you're being nosy.
No, I'm just saying, because you got a lot of stuff on here that you're doing.
Okay, but you have to manage your time.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I just did a workshop on Monday, and we get 86,400 seconds. Everybody get the same amount of time.
Same amount of time.
And I make sure that I prioritize what I want to do. So today is 6:30 was my I prioritize.
Yeah.
Well, tomorrow I'm not doing anything. So that means that with my personal life, I'm available.
Yeah.
Friday is my me day. Okay. So I don't do everything every day. I may work and do what I do Tuesday, Wednesday, or I may do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but I'm gonna leave some time for Carolyn.
That's
Caroline.
Right.
So, and I believe Sundays are my priority. I make sure that I have spiritual time, whether I'm in the home of love, that's where I go, or whether I'm at home. God comes first in my life. So at 10:30 a.m., if I'm not at the home of love, I'm sitting here right quiet. Me and God are communing. But we commune every morning, every day. So I have a personal life. Trust me.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's fun. I
Yeah.
tell you, I travel. I'm going on a cruise in October with one of my church friends. And I also have fun in the casinos. Everybody know Lady Caroline, she likes to go and they give you free trips. So I take those free trips. I done paid for them.
Right,
So I
right,
go.
right. I know that's right. and
Being
so
very transparent.
There you go.
right. And so speaking of fun, your group is hosting several cultural excursions. I'll use that word. Because this is an anniversary this year. So tell
It
folks
is. It's our
about that.
36th anniversary. And every year we do something. And so last year we didn't do a whole lot, but the year before we did. And this year we sponsored a event at the Detroit Opera House, Ain't Too Proud to Beg.
Mhm.
And our social work family came out, our spiritual family came out, my personal family. You met me through Deborah and
Right.
Lamar and Debbie. I call her Debbie. She always is, she's one of our resource people. She's always bringing her friends to events. We have another friend we call Lady Lucy. Lady Lucy got her crew. And so we just get together. And so I've been doing musicals since 2014. I started doing them theater nights and musicals with the Home of Love on our scholarship.
Okay.
And so I retired from the scholarship committee. I'm still giving, but I said, let me do this. Let me kind of switch gears and help Lamar out. So some of the proceeds we put into the International Enlightenment Foundation,
Mhm.
and then we give back. So we also have what we call a study group. And this group within INA, we started it 6 years ago, and it's called the VIP Abundance Multimillionaire Family Circle. And so they're supportive. We meet weekly and we pray. But the fun part, the cultural part, we always believe that we should be in tune and have good times and be able to learn from one another.
Yes.
And embrace each other in the community.
Exactly.
And with the pandemic, we couldn't get out, you know.
Right.
And so we follow the protocols. We wear our masks. Some of us have them on, some of them sit just, you know, we do whatever. But the last event, the Temptations,
Yes.
we grew up on that. That was us. That was our generation.
Right.
And
Right.
our next musical will be Hamilton. Well, actually, the next musical where we come together will be Respect. And that a tribute to Aretha Franklin, and then Hamilton, and then Tina. But I
Okay.
said Hamilton because we're purchasing our tickets next week.
Okay.
And we're doing it with the Fisher, and we have to follow their guidelines, even though the event is not until November. But we have to do what we have to do. If they say you do it like this and we get discounted tickets, we follow the protocol.
That's right.
So we're asking our listeners and our friends, if you want to go, we have main floor. We always get very good seats, and they take good care of us. And if someone wants to, you know, purchase tickets, they can contact me via my email or they can text me. And we take good care of our family. We call that our networking family.
Okay. Well, go ahead and share your email address.
It's Carolyn_Phillips 2010 at Comcast.net. That's CAROLYN_Phillips PHILLIPS 2010 at Comcast.net. And my text is 313-549-6874.
All right.
All righty then.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm looking at the different positions you held. You past presidents and past treasurers and conference co-chairpersons and
What did I tell you? It's a trailblazer.
right. But I'll give it to you when you involved in something. You involved.
Yes.
You know what,
Very
Damon?
engaged.
I believe that if you've been given something, God will give you the energy and the strength And I never get tired. As a matter of fact, I've been accused of overdoing it. My friend Celestine Jackson, she said, Carolyn, you take it to the 10th power. Or one of my friends will say, don't over plan. Well, I'd rather plan too much than not enough.
Right.
And because, you know, I've been given a lot of energy, you know, that's a blessing.
Yes, it is.
And I know that I have energy and I have to put it in the right direction. But doing all these things, I always have a support network.
Yeah.
I don't do this by myself.
Mhm.
For example, we did a workshop on Monday, and Yvette Carter is one of our trainers. And Yvette did the technical work. I couldn't have did it without her.
Okay.
And then our other team members are going on Friday. Darnell Blackburn and Alvin Sims, they're going to do the workshop. I'm just facilitating, but the networkers are coming to bring something. So we're a team. I know my strengths.
Yeah.
So you say, well, Carolyn, you were the president of such and such, but you can't just be the president. You got to have other people you working with, and you have to trust the process.
Right.
And I know my weaknesses. I don't do everything. You know, we have to have, you know, I'm putting my hand up. It's 5 fingers. I don't know if you can see it,
Yeah.
but it takes all of this. It don't take just one person. It's just that I have the position,
Right.
and God gives me the direction. I don't do stuff unless
All
I
right,
ask
all
God.
right.
That's
You
right.
know,
That's right.
I don't know a lot of stuff. I really don't, but I ask God and he knows. So
That's
I listen to him.
right.
You know, I said, okay, what you want me to say like tonight? I didn't know what I was going to be saying. You asking me these questions.
Well, you know,
I love it.
and he know who to send your way.
Exactly. Yes.
but I'll tell you this, because any organization that I've been over, they'll tell you, I'll work you to death.
Well, I'm
'Cause
not going to work people to death.
Well,
you
when
know,
I say work them to death, I mean if you're gonna be on the team, you're gonna be on the team. You're not gonna be there just to sit there and look at me.
Okay.
Yeah, you just not.
Well, here's what I believe in. When you work, and you got to have fun.
Yes.
Okay. And we have a norm. We have several norms when we do the work.
Mm-hmm.
And we believe in being authentic, or whatever we do, and we say whatever goes on in the group, it stays in the group. But the bottom line is you got to have fun.
Right.
If I'm not having fun doing this, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
You know, so that's how I get the energy, because when I'm going against, you know, being resistant or let my ego get in the way, it don't work. It just don't work.
That's right.
And then I'd be like, I'm gonna quit. There are a lot of times and stuff I was doing, I have a go-to friend, and she said, Carolyn, you made a commitment. You can't quit. So you have friends like that to tell you, you can't quit.
That's right.
Get to the end. And then once you know, commit to that, then you ain't got to worry about seeing it to the end, because the end never comes.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
You just go to the next event.
Without a doubt. Okay, so now with that, let's segue.
Well, look, I see your children have pushed you into the arts. That's all I know.
Tell me something your mother never told you.
Well, you know what? The first thing I thought about, I'm being real honest. My mother could cook some good old sweet potato pies.
All right.
And she made them for my brother. My mother, you know, she would fix things for each one of us.
Uh-huh.
And she would make blackberry pies for my daddy. But my mother never let me in the kitchen. She always had me to washing the dishes.
Mm.
And she never gave me the recipes.
What?
She was a homemaker.
Uh-huh.
And that was how mama was. So I didn't learn, and I'm not sorry about it either. So my sister Betty know how to make the sweet potato pies. So every Thanksgiving she makes the sweet potato pies. Okay,
That's
now
right.
if she ever leave, we just ain't gonna have no sweet potato pie. My good friend Barbara Cornelius, who left the planet, I'm not a sweet eater, but she would make the best pound cakes.
Mm-hmm.
And so every year for my birthday, I say, Barbara, I want a pound cake, and I'm gonna just give it to everybody else.
Right.
So mama never taught me how to be really domesticated. I
Okay.
watched her, so I had to learn the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, I didn't know how to do anything. I was just her child. My brother was the same. We didn't know how to do anything. So when we left her house, you had to learn.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
That
right.
was hard.
Well, she probably figured you had other stuff y'all need to be doing.
I don't
Cooking.
know. But you know what? She was just so loving in
Right.
her own way. She was feisty now. My mother was very feisty, and she used her curse words fluently. And we knew when she was upset,
Mhm.
and we knew when to get out of her way. Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
But
I had one of
my,
those.
well, my mother said she would psych us. She psyched us. She said she would tell her friends, I got good kids. Do you know what that means? You better not be acting a fool,
That's
because
right.
mama done said it and you heard it.
That's
And
right.
so when we tried to sneak around and do something, she found out. I
Right.
tried to smoke. I never will forget it. I went to Mumford and my girlfriend was smoking these nasty Kent cigarettes. And so I said, well, I'm gonna smoke. And so I was in my room and I was trying to smoke. Mama said, oh, I didn't know you smoke. She knew it did because she smoked.
Uh-huh.
And she said, well, do you have money to buy your cigarettes?
Mm.
I had no money for no cigarette. So I became a closet smoker,
Mm.
really. I never smoked around my mother.
Uh-huh.
And even around my kids. I would go, trust me, that is silly. I would go in the bathroom and smoke, and my kids would laugh, say, Mom in there smoking. I had a window up, and it was just so dumb. So finally I said, I got to stop doing this, because I mean, this is crazy.
Right.
The other thing my mother never told me, they would talk, but they never taught us how to communicate
Okay.
and
Mhm.
express what you really feeling.
Mhm.
And so you will hold it in,
Yes.
and then you would have to find somebody to talk to. And I think that's why I'm a social worker now, because
Okay.
you do have to let it out.
Right.
But
Right.
Mama never taught us about communication or anything like that. Now that she talked to her sisters, and she didn't have a lot of friends, but they get on the phone every day, all day. And so you paid attention, but you never knew when to say the right thing or the wrong thing, or I just didn't know.
Okay.
I'm still learning. I'm
Mhm.
still learning, because you can't read people's mind.
Right.
You can't use your perspective and say, well, I think Damon's thinking this. Well, you don't know that. You didn't
Yeah.
ask him.
That's right.
And so we have a tendency not to ask, or people will hold things in.
Mhm.
I don't hold nothing in. I try to practice before I say things, but if I hold it in, you won't get the real me.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. Right.
Because that way I'm not kind. If I hold it in, I'm not loving. And
Mhm.
I believe in being forgiving. So I have to let it out
Mhm.
and say, I have to apologize because I didn't understand what you were saying. Help me to understand what is behind this behavior. What does this mean to you? It might not mean nothing to me, but it means something to you.
Mhm.
You sound like a counselor.
Well, I don't do it anymore, but I am a licensed therapist.
Right.
And
Mhm.
I send everybody to the therapist, because that's not what I want to do. I've done that.
Right.
But one of the things, when you say sound like a counselor, is really being a kind person.
Mm-hmm.
It really means just being loving and patient. And we're human
Patient.
beings.
Mhm.
And God give us many gifts. And if we learn how to listen, he gives you the gift of the spirit. And all I can do at this age is ask God, how do you want me to be?
Right.
I've done everything else I want to do, and
Right.
I hope my expiration date ain't too soon. So
Well, he probably got some more stuff for you.
I know he
Definitely.
does.
I'm
Well,
looking at this list.
I asked him for 100. And I'm teasing, but I said, God, can I be 100 and look like I'm looking now?
Right. Right.
You hear me? I'm
Yeah.
vain.
Look, Trust me, me and him had that conversation a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, you want to be in your right mind, and you
Yeah.
want to be able to do for
When they
yourself.
have your
Right.
help, yeah.
Right.
But
Right.
we're all therapists to one another. We
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
If we love each other and listen, you're each other's therapists.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
like the love
Right.
of Christ. That's right.
So let me ask you this question. I don't think we talked about this. An intergenerational group, it's never too late to begin again.
Yeah. Well, that's our spiritual study group. That's the VIPs.
Mhm.
We started 6 years ago, and the way we started, my dear friend Yvette, who's part of the networkers, she introduced us to what we call D-Free. And this is through an organization in New Jersey. And they were talking about how to be financially free.
Okay.
Because we get in debt and we had all these credit cards and be broke.
Mhm.
So I went over to King David Church, and the pastor's name is Pastor Sterling Brewer.
Mhm.
And they had other preachers over there and everything. I wasn't going as no preacher. I went as a social worker. I wasn't trying to represent my church or anything. I just wanted to know what they was talking about. And when they introduced us to the D-Free program to be debt-free with a spiritual base, I said,
Mhm.
oh, I love this. I got to be in. And so we went through the training, and I became a trainer for D-Free. And so one of my colleagues, her name is Ophelia, we call her Gracia. She said, will you share with me what's what? And I said, sure. Then I started thinking of other people that might be interested. So we started a group, and we were the VIP millionaires. Then we
Okay.
changed our name to the VIP multimillionaire. We changed it. But we took the teachings of D-Free, and we still practice those. And we addressed the mess that we made with money.
Uh-huh.
And then we started learning how to budget. We started how to give back. So that's been a component.
Yeah, that's
And
a part
so,
of your social work too,
and,
huh?
and on the journey this past year, we got involved with Ayanna Van Sant. She has a program. It was called Spiritual Study Sanctuary, and we studied various books, metaphysical books and New Thought books, and it gave us a deeper understanding of our spiritual journey, and gave us a closer walk with God. So we're starting our 6th year, and we're studying, and we're using D-Free. We're using the components of Ayanna. I'm a member of the Order of the Fisherman Ministry, and those teachings are so profound. My founding pastor is Martha Jean Queen Steinberg, and we went through what we call the teachings. We call them the spiritual teachings, and it's all about learning who you are. You're the breath of God, and we talk about forgiveness and releasing and prosperity and how to live this life. So with all these teachings, you become that. And we're going to be having a seminar at the Home of Love in September, the end of September, the 1st of October. And every time they offer that, I take it because it's a refresher.
Okay.
But then I'm at a different level. When I started out in the ministry with the Queen, I was 29.
Okay.
And I would have been 30 my birthday.
Rest in
And
peace.
I'm gonna tell my age. I'm 75.
Okay.
And I need to know how to live this part of my life. When I went in, I was in my spring years. Now I'm in my early fall. And so I need to listen to them teachers again to get me to the transition phase of my life.
Okay.
And so all of it's a combination. It's not just one. It's the Home of Love. That's my family. That's my spiritual family. The Black social workers is my social work family, my biological family. Everybody's my family. Everywhere I go, you're a part of my family. And so you say, well, how you do it? I just walk the walk.
That's right.
I don't worry about how far I'm going to go. So we call that traveling on the royal road of riches.
Okay. Okay.
Say it. I love it.
Well, all righty then.
And you're on the road with us.
I know. Pass it on. Pass it on.
So, and
oh my goodness, that is wonderful.
you were it's a founding member and historian of the Queens Communities Workers Social Scholarship Committee. So
Yeah.
are you still in the capacity of a historian or?
Well, you
Officially,
know,
officially, but unofficially.
unofficial. Here's how it goes. When I came to the Home of Love, I was a social worker,
Mhm.
and we went through the teachings, and I was working at Homes for Black Children. That was you remember I told you that was my field placement.
Right.
Well, they hired me, and while I was working there, we had a famous artist, Devon Cunningham, who had done some portraits at Homes for Black Children. And he said, well, they're going to have this showing over at the Home of Love. Well, I didn't want to go over there. You know, I heard the Queen. My mama listened to the Queen. I said, I don't know if I want to go over there because those people get the Holy Ghost. And I was scared of that. Okay. And
Okay.
so, but my friend Larry Colston, who was working there, he said, well, let's go over there and check it out. Okay. So I went over there to the Home of Love to just see these pictures.
Mhm.
That's all I was going. I was nosy. I was just nosy. And they played this song, Damon, Give Yourself to Jesus.
Mm.
And that's what my
And
heart
that was
opened
it.
up. And I walked down the aisle. Now, I had been baptized as a young woman. And I walked down the aisle and I gave myself to Jesus.
All
And I
right.
went home and I talked to my mother and I said, Mom, they're going to baptize again. She said, I'm going to tell you something. Now, this is what she told me.
Uh-huh.
She said, you're a grown woman and you can do what you want to do. And I got baptized. And then after the baptismal, we went through the teachings. And when you get through the teachings, then you have to serve. You know, Queen said, you got to serve.
Mhm.
So I said to Sydney, that was my boss, Sydney Duncan and Jackie and my friend and Doris, I said, we all took the teachers. I said, we ought to have a scholarship committee.
Mhm.
And I went to the Queen. She said, yes, you guys can have that. So we all put together some money, each one of us $125.
Mhm.
So we had $500. And we had Queen had a barbecue at Kirk's Barbecue, and we had a
Okay.
raffle. So we raised the money, and that's how the scholarship committee got started. And I was the co-chair until 2010.
Okay.
And I retired from it. But in the process, I would write little historical kinds of things, you know, and keep up with the history of the ministry.
Okay.
I'm not the official. They got a lot of people who got stories. I just like listening to them, and I write it down.
Mhm.
So Barbara Mahaffey now is the co-chair. And when I left being a co-chair, I said, we need some young people. So we have two other young people, Evan Whitaker and Devera Mulkey. I call her Mulkey. Those are the co-chair people. And every year we would give scholarships every year. And so Queen would look at the kids' report card throughout the year,
Mhm.
but at the end, whoever, you know, if they had a 3-point or 4-point or whatever, I don't care, from kindergarten through college,
Mhm.
we would have a program and we would give them money, and they're still doing it to this
Oh,
day.
okay.
So we're called, I'm an educational investor. Anybody can be an educational investor. MGM has given a lot of money, and Dr. Bill Picard has given money. Everybody gives money, and we give it back to the kids to go to college. So if you're an elder and you want to go to school and you're a member there, you can go. And now they're going to have another community program. I'm not going to reveal that because I'm not supposed to until they get it right.
Okay.
But we still take care of our kids. And then the kids come back and they serve, or either they go out in the community and they become who they are and come back and testify about what they're doing.
Amen.
And it's through the Queen's community workers.
Okay.
At the Home of Love is the spiritual component is the Order of the Fisherman Ministry. And then we have the Queen's community workers, and then we have Head Start. We have housing for the seniors. So it's multifaceted. It's a little place on Grand River, but it gives a lot to the community.
All righty then.
Yes.
Yeah, ain't nothing like giving.
Yes, Queen gave. She was a giver. I'm telling you, she was a giver.
Oh yeah, I heard about her. You still
Well,
listen to her on the radio too?
yes. I mean, you know, we still listen at the teachings, and our leadership is Fisherman Earl Doc Savage and Fisherman Robert Uncle Bob Martin and Fisherman Dolores Stevenson. We have 3 other fishermen who recently made their transitions, you know,
Mhm.
but Queen always said, you're all fishermen, but they are official, you
Right.
know.
Okay. 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 Okay.
All right, that's what the word said to be fishermen. Yeah.
Hmm. So
Mhm.
you are. I mean, you. Well, let's put it this way. What's the next thing for you?
Well, I'm gonna still try to stay young.
You
I'm gonna
might as
stay
well.
young.
Like I
I'm
said,
gonna
I love
stay
that
young.
transparency. I know.
Well, the next thing is really to help Lamar.
Okay.
Really, I'm going to learn some grant writing skills, and I'm gonna work on technology like Brandis. I'm gonna be calling her. Those are things I'm doing, but I'm going to sign up, like I just said, for a refresher at the Home of Love, you know, for the teachings.
Hmm.
Ayana's going to be offering a second phase of the spiritual sanctuary on metaphysical Bible.
Right.
And I'm in a course now called mindfulness.
Okay.
And I started that last year in March. And every 8 weeks, our teacher, Ali Turfy, offers this course, and it's really, really good. And it's helped me to keep my mind straight, and it helps people. It helps with stress, and it teaches you how to do yoga, meditation, and all of that.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do that. And I do have a challenge with my hips, joints.
Hmm.
So I said, I want to go and start dancing,
Okay.
and so Fast Freddie got a class, I heard, and I went to a party and he was doing the wobble in the chair. I said, oh, I love this. And so I want to get into a more physical things, water aerobics and just the things that's going to keep my joints limber. And I want to be able to do that because I was supposed to go to Africa a few years ago, West Africa and South Africa, and I couldn't because of my, I was
Mm.
my mobility.
Okay.
I want to be able to go to West Africa and visit parts of the Caribbean and Spain. Those are how you have a wish list.
Right. Right.
One of Lamar's friends was his roommate. He lives in England, and he said, Miss Phillips, whenever you're ready. So I plan to go to England. He says, you just come and I'll take care of you.
Okay.
So I want to do that. And I just want to have fun. I have a personal relationship, and I'm going to see where that goes, where that takes us.
Hmm.
Wherever it takes us, it'll take us.
Right.
And so
That's right.
I'm gonna enjoy the relationship and
Yes.
be the best that I can be in that.
Uh-huh.
I don't have any grandkids. I don't know if we will have any grandkids, but Lamar got so many kids that I just want to be able to help the kids that he helped. And,
Right.
we had a young lady who was a photographer at our event,
Right.
and I said, Lamar, I kind of like her, and and I don't know much about her. I said, but I would like to see what she needs, and maybe we can offer some seed money to help her through school.
Okay.
So I like doing things like that.
Yeah.
You got a big
I
heart.
want to make sure I spend more time with my family. On my side of the family is very small. So we had an opportunity in May to go visit my cousin who lives in Florida. So I want to be able to at least see him in Florida, not here in Detroit, because he come here. I want to go there
Right.
and visit my cousin. And then I have another cousin that's here. But I really just want to stay connected to my childhood friends, my friends. And see, that don't take much. You can pick up the phone, you can
Right.
Zoom, you can do whatever.
Right.
So those are the things that I desire. I'm going to keep learning. I don't know what course I'm going to take, but I'm always doing on Zoom with webinars, just listening and learning, and then just sharing it with the people that I know, because I have a tendency, now people probably think I might get on their nerves, but every time I find something, I'm always sending it. I'm always texting people, you need this, you need that.
Right. Right.
But wherever God leads me, and if people call me to do workshops, I will go.
Okay.
I will prepare, and it takes a lot of preparation if there's a new subject. You
Right.
still have skills, but you still got to know the subject,
Got to know the subject.
and
Yeah.
you gotta prepare for that. So my goal right now is to continue taking care of myself physically and pay off some debt. You know, I like to spend money. Oh, I love to spend money. Oh, I love it.
Well, that's
But
what it's for.
money don't have no control over me, but I
Right.
have to have a balance, you know, be
That's right.
reasonable.
Yeah.
And I like being with you guys. I used to be on the radio. I thought about podcasting. I
Yeah,
said, well,
absolutely.
well, you know what? I don't need the podcast. I'll just ask Damon, can I come back? You know,
There you go.
everybody who got a podcast, I don't have to have one. You know, it takes work, you know.
Right. Yes. Yes.
So my future is bright. It's really bright.
Right.
And I want to keep working on communication, to be a good listener. And I mean, really honestly,
too.
listen
Me.
to people and make sure that I'm doing my best. I got, like I tell you, I got some great social work friends, and those people are in business with their clients. And I want to make sure that they can get, you know, help them with their business. I don't want to be a therapist. You know, some folk, you know, it's nothing wrong with getting mental health help.
Right.
If you know, we go to the doctor.
Yeah.
You know, we go to the eye doctor, ear doctor. You got to have your mental health in check.
That's right.
And you may need a few sessions, or you may need more sessions. Because when you go to the doctor, you be running back and forth. If your blood pressure up, he have you coming back and forth.
That's right.
So if you have emotional things that you need to work out, go work it out.
You need to work them out.
You can be happy, you know?
Right. You know what? I'm glad you brought that up, because I got this stuff highlighted, but I got so much stuff highlighted on here. I just run it again. So you had it was from 89 to 2004. You did a weekly show on QBH.
Yes.
Express Yourself.
Yes.
How was that?
It was fun, and we were the Saturday night dates. Okay, we came on every Saturday. It was 4 of us: Jenny Wharton, Barbara Mahaffey, and we call her Size Unlimited. Her name was Addie Harrison. And then our other partner was Joanne Brabson. Joanne moved to Atlanta. And Queen, the way we got on, I was actually the alumnus of the year, 1 year. And she said, I want you to come on Saturdays. And okay, I'll come on. And so she wanted me to just talk community about 15 minutes. And so Cynthia Bryan and I worked together for a minute. And then when I was working at DPS, you know, they had this little stuff, you know, community stuff. And so they had a radio station, and I said, I'm gonna try this out. So I put a little proposal in, and it was called Parenting Plus. So I was talking to Queen one day, and I said, yeah, I got this show at DPS. She said, I want you to come over here to QBH. And she called the name Express Yourself. And she selected the people. And so we were on the station until whatever the date I have in there, until the station went off the air.
Okay.
Yeah, and we were, you know, we would also get a chance to be on morning discussion. You know, Ken Coleman would be on in the morning, and Lonnie P. So we would get a chance to fill in, and Gerald Smith. It was fun. We learned a whole lot. And then, you know, we had the people in the background, the board operators and stuff. But every Saturday night at 7 o'clock, we were your Saturday night date. And we would give recipes. We would have people read books, anything you could think of. We was expressing ourselves.
Okay.
We had a little competition because I love Luther Vandross.
Me too.
And my friend Addie, Size Unlimited. She like I can't even call her friend, but she like Barry White. So we would have competition between Barry White and Luther, and Barbara like jazz. So we would do everything. Anything you could think of, we was expressing ourselves. We would debate. Queen said, okay, you got to entertain, but you got to be informative. So, and she left us alone. She just let us do the thing. And when she passed, Trina, her daughter, Trina Steinberg, she kept us there too. They just let us. And we were members from the Home of Love, and they know we weren't going to do nothing wrong.
Right. But Luther was going to get played though.
Oh, Luther, he's still my man.
Look, since you said that, I was playing music at a baby shower Sunday, and we was supposed to be doing a little gospel and then jazz. And one of the women there said, "You got some Luther."
I know that's right.
Say, we need to hear just a little Luther.
Just a little bit, just a little
And I
bit.
would've said,
Yes,
"Hey,
yes.
playing Luther. I want to dance.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Ain't nothing wrong with hearing a little bit of Luther.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
Right.
Oh my goodness, but you have definitely been encouraging and insightful to me.
Right.
I'm just in awe
Right. You got anything
of all
else?
the things that you've done.
You got
Well,
any
you
other?
know what? It's not over. And you know, like I said, I gave out my text number. Anytime anybody want to call, you know, we don't have we have a web name. I was trying to work out the website.
Mhm.
And when you go on my page, it says open always, because we are.
Yeah,
The hospital never closes.
that's right. That's right. Never ever.
Amen,
Never
amen,
ever.
amen.
Right. And for those who don't know, you got a Facebook page.
Yes.
Share that name.
Well, I got several.
You got
It's
several of them, right?
yeah,
Oh,
it's but just me, Carolyn Phillips, and then we have Parenting Plus and Beyond, and then we have our friends, you know, our stories, and
mhm.
I do stuff about our stories about all community things that's related to anybody in the world. If you do something good, we want to hear about it.
Right.
Yeah,
But
same with
the
him.
Parenting Plus Beyond, I really wanted to make sure that we honor our elders and our parents, and just give good tips for our parents. Then we have a social work page, our school social workers. We keep connected, you know what we're doing. We just lost one of our social workers yesterday. Her name was Lana Turner. But
Mhm.
we keep in touch, you know, because we have had transitions, and
Right.
then we have celebrations. So that social work page, the one for Detroit, that's what we do, those school social workers. You
Okay.
know, the reason why I did it, I didn't have nothing else to do. I really didn't know what I was doing. And you could
Really?
create pages. So I was just experimenting.
Right.
And
Right.
it started working. And my family say, you know, we remember when you didn't know nothing about a computer, or they laugh at me. I say, but I'm still learning.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm just having fun doing those kinds of things. And you know, I do it because I don't have to do it.
That make a big difference,
You're
doesn't
right.
it?
If it cost
Yeah.
work, we wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
That makes a big difference. As soon as you gotta have to do something, I don't want to do that no more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're gonna let you get out of here, but is there one thing that you want to leave our listeners with?
When you've been blessed, pass it on.
There you go.
I love
When you've been blessed, I've been blessed, and I really am humbled by you allowing me to come and share my life, my story. And we hope that your listeners will come and enjoy our musicals that's coming up.
it. Yes.
They're affordable. If you can come to one, come to one. If you can come all three, that's great. We're even going to try to have a private showing of this new movie with Viola Davis. I'm
Oh,
working
okay.
on it. And as soon as I get the theater, then we're inviting people, because it's very cultural, it's eventful, we can learn. And I'm asking folks to support Lamar Phillips.
Okay.
That is my my son, my friend, and he's a great man of God.
Mhm.
And we appreciate you both. We're so humbled that you would allow us to come and spend an hour with you. You don't know how much I appreciate this opportunity to just be Diamond Diva.
All right, Diamond Diva. We're gonna like you said, we want you folks to say these dates. We got respect. Coming
All
October
right.
29th, 2022. We got Hamilton Sunday, November the 20th. 2022 at 8 o'clock, and we got Tina Turner musical. All right, and that is December the 11th at 7 o'clock
Yes.
at
Yes.
the Opera House.
Right.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, we appreciate you coming on, and you know the whole purpose of this is we see people doing stuff or living their lives. Sometimes we need to share that.
Amen.
You
Well,
know?
we thank you so much, and I'm humbled and I'm honored that I could spend this time with you. I'm so grateful. And I wish you much success, you know, with what your mother never told you. I wish you that.
Thank you.
All right.
We
thank
appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Stay
Have a
Love you.
blessed night.
You too.
All
Stay
right.
blessed now.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Virtual hug.
Okay.
All right now.
Have a good one.
I'm leaving you.
Okay.
All right.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.